Welcome to Becoming a Writer podcast, a space where we write freely,
Write fearlessly,
and write forever. I am Rubina Gauri Gomes, and as your writer friend, I want to give you the love, support, and encouragement to realize, become, and stay a writer for life. You can find more about our conversations and your free Writer's Mental Toolbox PDF at rubinagomes.substack.com. Now please grab a cup of your favorite drink and let's have a quick chat. Hello my writer friends, Rubina here. For our 10th conversation, we are going to talk about how starting small is the key to get our writing momentum going. My first attempt at my novel was a disaster. With one hand I was slashing the pen across the page and with the other I was tearing my hair out. Why the hell can't I write this story? I slammed the book closed and pushed it away. Maybe I am not a writer. Here we go again. That negative self-doubtful voice. I was in the 3rd year of my writing gap year and I still hadn't written a good story. I had this fantastic idea pop in my head. A detective fiction set in present-day London. But I couldn't put it down on paper. I knew who my main characters were, what I wanted them to do, and how the story ended. But since I was following the overrated advice of having an outline, instead of just diving into the story, I spent a month figuring out every plot point, every twist and turn, and every resolution for my story. By the time I sat down to write my novel, technically I knew everything about it, and yet I knew nothing. Every single day, it was painful to write the novel. It felt like I was dragging a screaming and fighting toddler through the supermarket and hoping the mess would end. I was trying so hard, pushing myself, forcing myself, crying myself, to write something to validate my decision to take the gap year. I knew I was a writer, I just didn't want others to tell me I wasted my time. Here I was, a young woman, trying to write her first novel to make it as a writer, and I couldn't bear a moment of it. It was one of the most heartbreaking moments of my writing life. Inevitably, I had to take a break from the novel. I went back to reading and learning more about writing. Why was writing being such a pain in my ass? That's the question I needed answer to. Eventually, and thankfully, I found one answer in a YouTube video featuring science fiction author Ray Bradbury. It was his 2001 keynote speech titled Telling the Truth at the University of California Television. Out of the many lessons I learned from this almost 1-hour video, I learned one massive lesson I needed at that time, which came in 2 parts. He said, quote, "The problem with novels is you can spend a year writing one and it might not turn out well because you haven't learned to write yet." End quote. Quote, "The best hygiene for beginning writers or intermediate writers is to write a hell of a lot of short stories. If you write 1 short story a week, it doesn't matter what the quality is to start, but at least you are practicing. And at the end of the year, you have 52 short stories. And I defy you to write 52 bad ones. Can't be done. At the end of 30 weeks or 40 weeks or at the end of the year, all of a sudden a story will come out that's just wonderful." End quote. I facepalmed myself so hard when I heard this. With my novel, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no confidence in myself or my words, and since I had no immediate results, I didn't understand if I was doing it right. That resulted in beating myself up and further lowering my confidence and self-belief. So of course, starting my writing life with short stories would work in my favor, and it did. Starting small helped me build my writing habit. Let's say you want to start a new fitness routine, and you have never worked out before. You are wrong if you think you can pull off an hour of rigorous exercise. You can maybe do it at that moment, but you won't realize how much you are hurting your body and mind with this sudden exertion. This is why many of us fall off the track within a month. It's not sustainable. What you want to do is grow into the habit of the activity. Same way, as a new writer, I had to get comfortable sitting at a desk and let my fingers do all the talking. So starting with a small attainable goal like writing a short story got my writing ball rolling. Then over time, writing became my second nature. Starting small helped me build my writing muscles. Let's go back to the gym. It's your first day. You don't want to pick up 50 kg dumbbells and hurt yourself. You should pick up 5 kgs. And if that's still heavy and uncomfortable, you'd go for 3 or 2.5 kgs. Your goal should be to increase the weight gradually. That way, your muscles get used to the weight and learn how to manage them. As a new writer, I had to let my mind get used to churning out words, then slowly increase the output. First, I found out what my comfortable range is. Earlier, I figured out 500 words a day was a good range. But later, I realized I am more of the how much time needed kind of person, which turned out to be 2 hours per day for about 3 to 5 days a week. Some days it's more, some days it's less, but I'm happy in either case, as I am able to strengthen my writing muscles. Starting small helped me practice and fine-tune my craft. You have been at the gym for over a month now. Slowly you are learning the craft and understanding how you'd like to go about it. There'll be specific exercises you prefer more than others. You have found a particular way of using the weights. It's nothing drastically different from what others are doing, just your take on it. Similarly, by writing short stories, I learned quicker how to write fiction and make it good. My short stories gave me the space to experiment and grow without having too much at stake. Starting small helped me get immediate feedback on what's working and what's not. Those little aches and pains you have while exercising are signs that you are doing a good job. That sharp pain that makes you stop is a sign that you did something wrong. Since experimenting with my short stories, I got immediate feedback if the readers enjoyed my work. The feedback was quick because writing and reading a short story is quicker than writing and reading a novel. And it didn't matter even if I got the reader's feedback. The moment I was done writing one short story, I immediately knew where I had to improve. You see, I was also a reader before I became a writer. Therefore, subconsciously I knew what worked and what didn't. So when I wrote the next story, I adjusted my writing accordingly. Starting small helped me believe in myself when I said I am a writer. In his book The Atomic Habits, author James Clear says, "Every action is a vote for the type of person you wish to become." After what I have been experiencing in my writing career so far, I agree with it. Every time I finish a writing session, every time I finish an article or a short story or a chapter, I feel accomplished. I feel proud of myself. I feel so because I am doing what I said I would, writing. This makes me trust in my belief that slowly and steadily I'll also make it as a successful author. Well, that's it for today. Next time we meet, we'll talk about how consistency can help you become the writer of your dreams. Until then, keep writing, my friend. Thank you for catching up with me today. I hope you found some inspiration that could help you write freely, write fiercelessly, and write forever. You can listen to our previous conversations at rubinagomes.substack.com. There you'll also get access to my other essays published every Wednesday and your free Writer's Mental Toolbox PDF to help you enjoy every writing session. You can also find me on Instagram at becoming.awriter. See you later.